Good evening, everyone. I will be analyzing Coatlicue and Apollo and Daphne by Bernini. Both of these artworks fall under the cultural myth theme. According to Stanley Krippner, myths are statements or stories that express and explain ambiguous observations and existential issues, thus having an impact on human behavior and comportment. While both of these sculptures depict a myth from their cultural perspectives, I will be analyzing both sculptures and I will be focusing on historical context, formal qualities, and subject matter. Coatlicue is a sculpture made around 1500. The artist is unknown. She is located at the National Museum of Anthropology in Mexico City. Coatlicue is a basalt sculpture measuring 10 feet tall. It is because of her immensity that you must stand back and truly appreciate all that she is. This sculpture would have been very colorful when it was first created by the sculptor. If you start at the bottom, you will see that she has claws on her feet. The next thing you will notice is that her skirt is crafted with snakes. Looking closer, you can see the heads of the snakes as well as the rattles. Next, we see her belt. The belt is made of snakes holding up human skulls. As you move up, we can also see her necklace made from hands and human hearts. We can see there are rolls on the side of her stomach. She also appears to be decapitated. There are circles below her jugular indicating precious liquid or blood. Then we move to where her head would be, and there are two snakes facing each other. They almost make one singular snake head. There are faces with teeth along her arms, and snakes are rising from her wrist. This is also a sign that she is dismembered at the wrist. There are carvings all over the sculpture, including the bottom of the feet. While we must take into account that images do not have fixed meanings and can mean various things depending on context, we can analyze the meaning of the earth goddess during the time she was made. During the 1500s in Mesoamerica, the Aztecs were at the height of their empire. Coatlicue in the Aztec world was not only the earth goddess, but also the mother of the patron god, Huitzilopochtli, the god of war. We know that this was important to the Aztecs when we see the rolls depicted on the side of her stomach on the statue. When we look at Coatlicue from the side, we see that she looks like she is leaning and gives the impression that she is ready to pounce. This is supported by several 16th century Spanish colonial accounts that mention that Coatlicue belonged to a class of deities related to the stars, who were considered terrifying and dangerous in the Aztec world. We'll also see the importance of human sacrifice for the Aztecs when we see all the hearts and hands depicted on the statue. Overall, we can see that Coatlicue is a depiction of native art that represents a god in the Aztec culture. She is someone to look up to, but also fear. We can take a look at Apollo and Daphne by Bernini. This sculpture was made between 1622 and 1625. It measures 243 centimeters, and it is located at the Gallery Borghese. This sculpture is a really good representation of Baroque art. There is instability represented in the sculpture and a sense of confusion. This sculpture captures a moment in time that cannot be held for too long. We see the arcs of the body, arms, and the drapery. During the time it was made, Christianity was popular. Therefore, we can proclaim that this piece of art reflected Christian values such as purity and chastity. The myth being displayed by this wonderful marble statue is about Daphne being struck by a lead arrow, thus hating Apollo, and Apollo being struck by a gold arrow, and therefore falling in love with Daphne, all because he made fun of arrows, also known as Cupid. Daphne seeks the help of her father, a river god, and asks him to change her features that captivated Apollo. So when Apollo reaches her, we see that the metamorphosis of Daphne becoming a laurel tree. At the same time, we know Apollo is losing Daphne forever. Apollo doesn't express horror, so he might not know what is going on. His face is relaxed, but his wrist is flexed, as if in surprise. Daphne's face expresses horror, yet blinkless, as she loses her humanity.